Hello, welcome back. Welcome if you're new. So if you're looking for that perfect long-wearing bulletproof foundation that stays in place no matter where you're going, what you're doing, or how long you'll be there from morning through the night, through sweat, heat, and humidity, this is the video for you. I have different types of foundations for all skin types at various price points to share with you today. And let me tell you, when we're talking about keeping foundation on your face through heat and humidity and elements, I have a lot of experience with that. It is dead of summer here in New Orleans right now, where we have heat and humidity most of the year. But right now especially, it's brutal. And since it's been so long since I've updated my top foundations videos, I figured this was the perfect time to start with this particular category. A lot of things have changed with foundations since my last top foundations videos. We have some new launches, some reformulations and discontinuations. So I've retaken a look at some of my longtime favorites and some of the new foundations that have come out to come up with some that I think you'll love as much as I do. And I can't wait to share these with you. Hey, if you are new here, I test out a lot of face products, foundations, concealers, powders, products like that, because I'm in my upper 40s, and the older we get, the harder and harder it is to find satisfactory face products. So I like to test these products out so we can decide who they might work for, who they might not, to try and help you make better buying decisions. If you think you might enjoy that and just everyday beauty made easy, because that's what my channel is all about, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button and be here on a regular basis with me. I'll be updating top foundations in various categories: powder foundations, face tints, BB creams, CC creams, radiant foundations, skin-like foundations. So be on the lookout for that moving forward. Let's go ahead and get into these top long-wearing bulletproof foundations so you can see which one of these will work for you. Now, I always, when I review foundations, try and give you what skin types I think would benefit from those foundations, even if the foundations themselves don't really work for me, even if they're not favorites. I just think that's really important. But it's definitely important that you know the climate and skin type of the reviewers that you watch. I think so anyway. We already talked about my climate, but my skin type is combination, in that it's normal around the perimeter and can sometimes be dry depending on the circumstances and the time of year. And the center can be oily and shiny, especially right now while it's hot and humid outside. It may even get some shine breakthrough as I'm sitting here filming underneath these warm lights. You need to know these things before we get into these reviews. I'm going to go in coverage order from lightest coverage to fullest, starting with a foundation I think works great for all skin types. This is Lancome Care and Glow. It's $57 for 1 ounce. There are 30 shades. The shade that I have is 335W, and I picked that based on how they recommend you select your shade based on previous Lancome foundation shades. If I had to choose again, or when I run out of this, I think I'm going to go for shade 310N. I just think that's going to match me a little bit better. Now, if you do think that you are my foundation or concealer shade match twin, I keep a running list of all of my foundation and concealer shades over on my blog. The link to that lives in my description boxes, where I will have all the products I'm sharing today and what I'm wearing, and I'll also put that in the top pinned comment for you. This gives light medium to just over medium coverage. You can even sheer it out and get light coverage from it, and a natural radiant finish, which may scare off some of you with oily skin, but this is one of those rare, radiant, glowy foundations that works really well across all skin types because it doesn't go into greasy territory. It looks beautiful at the start of the day. It wears beautifully all day long, even through heat and humidity. I do get some shine with it, but I can blot it and even use a translucent powder to touch up with if I need to, and it doesn't take away any of the coverage. It just stays looking really nice and beautiful all day long. Now, something else I want to address with radiant glowy foundations, I know as we get older with mature skin, it's said to use radiant foundations over matte foundations, but one thing to note is that radiance and luminosity can often emphasize pores and texture, whereas a soft matte finish can diffuse and airbrush those imperfections. So you really have to be careful with glowy foundations. This is one of those radiant glowy foundations that is extremely smoothing on pores, fine lines, wrinkles. It doesn't gather in any of those areas as the day goes on. Sometimes when I wear glowy radiant foundations, they start to emphasize my pores as the day goes on. They'll gather in my forehead wrinkle, one or both of them. This one never does that. It's extremely smoothing and flattering. There are nice ingredients in here, hyaluronic acid, mandelic acid, among some of them, to smooth, plump, hydrate, refine your skin. And I would agree with what they claim, that it's supposed to be great for all skin types, even sensitive and mature skin. Now, for those of you concerned about alcohol and fragrance, out of the almost 45 ingredients in this foundation, alcohol is the fourth ingredient. So this does have alcohol in it. That bothers some people, it doesn't bother others. And fragrance gets labeled as bad, but it has to be listed whether it's natural or chemical, and not everyone is sensitive to that particular fragrance that is in whatever product we're talking about, but it is seventh from the bottom, so I wanted to make that note. But if you're looking for a light to medium coverage foundation with a beautiful, natural, radiant finish that is going to last you all day and look beautiful while doing so, no matter what skin type you have, this is a great candidate. My next foundation is from the drugstore. This is L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. I feel like this is on everyone's list, but there's a reason for it. It's a great foundation. This retails for $15.99 for 1 ounce. There are 40 shades. My shade is 445 Vanilla. I would say this builds from light medium to medium full, depending on how much you apply, how sheer you apply it, and what you apply it with. This is a great everyday foundation that looks really natural. It's not glowy, it's not matte, it just gives a nice natural finish that doesn't completely smooth your skin. It just helps it look natural and healthy. It diffuses my pores, but it doesn't totally erase them. I think that's one of the reasons why I like this foundation, because of that just natural everyday finish that looks really nice. It doesn't settle into any of my fine lines or into my pores as the day goes on. Now, I can get some shine in my T-zone, just like with the Lancome that I talked about earlier, but I can blot and it doesn't disturb it at all. It feels lightweight, it doesn't ever feel greasy, and the color stays true all day. It has 3 oil absorbers that help resist sweat, water, and transfer, and I've just had a great experience with this, and it is supposed to be suitable for all skin types, and I agree with that. And for those of you concerned with fragrance and alcohol, there are around 35 ingredients in this foundation. Fragrance was around 10 to 12 from the bottom of the list, and alcohol was again the 4th ingredient. So there is alcohol in this foundation if that is something you're concerned about. But overall, I think this is a fantastic light medium to medium full coverage everyday foundation with a natural finish that's suitable for all skin types. Even though technically we're moving into a luxury foundation, this is only $5 more than the Lancome foundation we started with. This is one that is living on my vanity since I discovered it not that long ago. I'm so glad I tried it. This is the Garland Terracotta Latent Healthy Glow. It retails for $62 for 1.2 ounces, so it's actually not much more than Lancome if you break it out per ounce. There are 30 shades, and I'm in shade 2.5N. This is a beautiful blurring skin-like foundation that's buildable from medium to medium full coverage. Now, if you're a subscriber of mine, you know how much I love a good skin-like foundation. It's a step above natural in that you can almost fool people into thinking you're not wearing foundation, depending on how you apply it, I guess, depending on how skin-like you apply it. But a lot of times skin-like foundations have very light coverage or light to medium coverage. The fact that you can get that from a medium to medium full coverage foundation is really impressive. What's unique about this to me is the finish. It's a luminous matte finish, which I questioned at first, but that's really the only way to describe this. It gives a glow without any glimmer or shimmer particles and without any dew or greasiness in my T-zone like I thought I was gonna get. It feels extremely lightweight and it wears beautifully even in heat and humidity. It's hydrating yet very lightweight. I have to do very minimal blotting even on a hot and humid day. It doesn't disturb my makeup at all. It just wears so beautifully all day. There are just over 35 ingredients in this foundation. Alcohol is the third ingredient. I swear I have some foundations in here that don't have alcohol. Alcohol is just an ingredient that helps foundations apply smoothly and stay on a long period of time. So if you're not wearing them every day, if you alternate a lot of foundations, it may not be a concern for you. And fragrance is about halfway down that list. Again, if you're not sensitive to that particular fragrance, that also may not be a concern for you. I love this foundation. And I forgot to say earlier that if you want to see more in-depth reviews of any of these and to see me apply them and do the wear tests and all that, I will link you to my foundation roundup playlist where you can find those reviews. Guess who made it again? Laura Mercier, Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation. She didn't get booted. She is still here. This retails for $49 for 1 ounce. There are 30 shades. I have shade Macadamia. I don't know what it is, but you know, back years and years and years ago when she had her old shade system, I had perfect matches in Laura Mercier foundations, but when she redid her shades, I've just never found a perfect shade. But Macadamia it is. I still feel like it's a little light. The next shade down is just a little off, but that's what I'm dealing with. There is no alcohol and no fragrance in this foundation, so I'll go ahead and say that. This gives medium to medium full coverage and a natural radiant finish that is never greasy. So we have another radiant foundation similar to the Lancome earlier, but with slightly more coverage. And I would almost say this gives a softer radiance. It's not quite as glowy as the Lancome. This was one of the first radiant foundations that was kind of an epiphany for me as someone with combination skin that can, you know, get oily. I just thought they would all make me look too dewy, too greasy. And this was the first one that didn't do that, that allowed me to wear it all day long and look nice. It's also great if you have mature skin. It doesn't emphasize pores as the day goes on. It just stays smoothing and flattering, doesn't settle into fine lines or anything like that. There are some great ingredients in here too. If you have mature skin, it's got this super crystal clear pearl that features a super fine texture with a flawless flat surface for a light reflecting effect without a chalky look. Now don't be scared of that. It's not a glimmer, it's not a glitter or anything. It's just this beautiful soft radiance. Laura Mercier is known for her complexion products and this is just beautiful. It's got silver ear mushroom extract, which is made to diminish the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, and it has vitamin C. Is there another foundation out there that has vitamin C? If there is, I don't know of one, but it says it's supposed to reveal clearer, brighter skin over time, more even toned skin, so that even without makeup, your skin is more radiant. It's a great any occasion, soft, radiant foundation for any skin type that gives medium to medium full coverage. Love it, love it. We have another recurring character back in the mix, Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. This retails for $8.99. I think that's actually gone up. I swear the last time I did this video it was like $5.99 or $6.99. There are 40 shades. What on earth shade am I? 128 Natural Beige. I love this foundation. I have been sharing this foundation for as long as I can remember in various videos. It's not only one of my favorite long-lasting bulletproof foundations for any age, it's just one of my favorite drugstore foundations in general. This gives medium to solid, medium full, almost full coverage and a natural soft matte finish. I hardly have to blot when I wear this, yet it doesn't dry my skin out, which is really nice. And before Dior Forever Matte was reformulated, this was my dupe for it. I don't think they're the same now. I think this is the same as the previous formulation of Dior because Dior Forever Matte doesn't stay as good on my face as it once did. I actually like this better because it just lasts and looks so nice on me throughout the day. Now, there is no added fragrance in this. There are around 25 ingredients, and alcohol is around the 5th ingredient if that is something that bothers you. I am saying this is great for all skin types because there are 2 formulations. There is this one, matte and poreless, and there is dewy and smooth. So no matter what type of skin you have, there's an option for you, and both are best sellers. However, I have known many with dry skin to really enjoy this because it doesn't give a flat matte finish. It's a nice, soft, matte, natural finish. This is a great everyday, any occasion, medium to medium full coverage foundation, easy to wear, easy to apply. That's been in my life a really long time. I remember when I was first testing out Chanel Ultra Latent Ultra Wear All Day Comfort Flawless Finish Foundation. That is a mouthful. I was so surprised by this. I wasn't sure how it was going to work out because of some of the things in the description. Not that I thought I was not going to like it. I don't know. I ended up feeling so differently about it than what I thought. So this is $65 for 1 ounce. There are 35 shades. I am in shade B30. Now I know this is a luxury foundation, but I need less than a pump of this for my entire face. So a little bit goes a long way. You get a lot for your money here, in my opinion anyway. This gives medium buildable to medium full coverage, and it gives a very natural, super flattering, pore smoothing, soft matte finish that is perfect for all skin types. I thought it was going to just be for combination oily skin because in the description they talk about these soft focus powders, and I guess I thought because this is a long wearing foundation with soft focus powders it was gonna give this matte look, and that's not what it does. It does give your face this soft focus airbrush smooth finish. It kind of diffuses everything. Now I do get a little bit of shine about 3 to 4 hours in, some moderate shine, but it's not really greasy. It blots away beautifully. You're getting a theme here. Whenever I do have to blot with any of these foundations, they blot beautifully and they don't disturb my makeup underneath. This is that exact same way. I get no makeup breakdown with this foundation at all during the day. I remember thinking at the time that this is a great foundation that might bridge that gap for more mature skin or those of you with dry skin that want a soft, focused, diffused finish from your longwear foundation, because it seems like most longwear foundations are matte and can be drying for those skin types, or they're radiant, but you might not always want a radiant foundation. This has that nice diffused finish. It doesn't emphasize dry areas. It wears beautifully all day. It's smoothing and super flattering, and it's great, I think, for all skin types, all ages. I didn't see alcohol listed in the ingredients, and now in a list of around 20 ingredients, fragrance was the very last thing listed before you get to a may contain section. Now I do notice a slight, I guess I'll call it a Chanel fragrance, just a kind of expensive scent, but I don't notice it after my makeup's applied. I just think this is so beautiful and flattering, and I thought it was going to be a flat matte. It is definitely not. Okay, we have a foundation with no alcohol and no added fragrance. This is probably the foundation that's been in my life the longest out of not just these, but probably any foundation here in my life. And it's the one I talk about the most here on my channel. Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place foundation. I bet you thought this had alcohol in it, didn't you? If you didn't already know the ingredient list, it doesn't. This is $49 for 1 ounce. There are 56 shades. I'm in shade Dawn pretty much year round. In the heart of the summer, I can go up to shade Rattan, not because I actively tan. I wear sunscreen, but I'm just someone that gets color. Even though I wear sunscreen, it doesn't matter. It just happens. This gives medium buildable up to full coverage, and has a natural demi matte finish, and it's great for all skin types. I have a video on how to apply this properly so it doesn't look cakey. I also have another video that I put out very recently on how to apply foundation in general so it doesn't look cakey, so that if you are applying a foundation that sets quickly or is more full coverage and you just want to make sure it looks as natural and skin-like as possible, you can do that easily. I will have both of those videos linked up here and in my description box and my top pinned comment if you want to check those out, because a lot of you have found them extremely helpful, which I am so glad for. That's my intent in doing them for you. This is not the mattest foundation out of this bunch. I feel like it's got that stigma to it that it's matte and it's heavy, but depending on how you apply it, refer to those videos I just talked about, it can look extremely natural and is great for every day or for special occasions. It's smoothing and flattering. It never settles in fine lines because it stays in place so beautifully, but it has that natural finish that just looks beautiful across all skin types. I can get some shine breakthrough in my T-zone, maybe 5-ish hours in. I mean, it's going to depend on the circumstances, but it's not a greasy shine. It touches up beautifully. It does not disturb anything at all. It lasts all day and all night, even in the most extreme heat and humidity. This is a foundation that can easily last 24 hours and look perfect while doing so. It feels lightweight and comfortable. It's oil-free and oil controlling at the same time, yet it doesn't feel drying on my skin, which is something that I love about it. This is a great mixing foundation. If I have another foundation that I like the finish of, but it doesn't last quite long enough, I can mix this in very easily. It works really beautifully with other foundations as well. This is basically my foundation workhorse. It works beautifully for any occasion, and it lasts through basically anything to keep my makeup looking perfect from the moment I apply it to the moment I take it off. And I think it's great for any occasion, for any skin type. This will be in my life as long as they make it, I do believe. It's kind of ironic that I've been having to blot away shine from these hot lights this entire video, where I've been talking about blotting with each of these foundations. I guess that just happens sometimes. So this is the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. This was a pleasant surprise for quite a few of us. I would say quite a lot of people, actually. This retails for $45 for 1 ounce. There are 51 shades. I'm in the shade 160 Light Neutral. Now, if you have mature skin or sensitive skin or redness, there are some really nice ingredients in here that I haven't seen in a lot of other foundations. Fermented arnica and some complexes that help with healing and stress, hydration, and some other things. It was just interesting to me when I first saw it. I talk about it more in depth in my initial review. This is a foundation that gives you a lot of coverage from a minimal amount of product. I would say the coverage is buildable from medium to full without much product. It feels lightweight and hydrating, and it's very smoothing on pores and texture, and gives a natural finish with a slight radiance. Now, I get some moderate shine as the day goes on. It's not greasy, but I do have some shine breakthrough and a bit more shine as the day goes on, but my makeup never breaks down whatsoever, even after I blot or touch up or do anything. Now, alcohol is around the 14th ingredient in the list of around 50 ingredients, so it's not right at the top, but it's there, which allows it to spread out easier and adhere to your skin as you apply it so that it does last all day, kind of dry down, and so it does set quickly, as some of these do, which is why I showed you those 2 videos how to apply it, so that if you do have quick setting foundations, they still look really good and they don't set down as you apply them. This just gives a natural, pretty look to your skin that's flattering no matter your age. And I would say no matter your skin type, but I think if you have oily skin, this might get a little too dewy for you as the day goes on, which I would normally think it would do that for me in my T-zone, but I really, really enjoy this. So I would say if you have super oily skin, this may not be the one for you. I tend to recommend this more for those of you with a combination to dry skin. It is just really pretty if you're looking for medium to full coverage from very little product that gives a natural, just really flattering finish. It had been a while since I used this foundation, I guess because I try out so many foundations, but I am so glad that I am redoing my top foundations videos because I forgot how much I really enjoy Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Foundation. It's back in my rotation for more special occasions, so I'll get into that here in a second. This retails for $49. There are 40 shades. I am in shade 6 Neutral. This has some really nice ingredients in it. It's got Replexium, a proprietary blend that helps reduce the appearance of wrinkles. It's got some things in here to help hydrate skin and give the skin a fresh feel. This gives medium full to medium coverage without looking heavy. I always am impressed with how smoothing and natural and flattering this looks, especially being someone who doesn't typically go for full coverage foundations, but I like having that option for certain occasions. It also feels lightweight and it smooths my pores beautifully and evens my skin tone, and I would almost say looks kind of like a natural radiant finish before I set it, and it gives me a soft matte finish after it's all set. It's not a flat matte. This lasts beautifully through heat and humidity. This is a great alternative to Estee Lauder Double Wear if you need something to last you from morning into the wee hours of the night, but maybe you want something a little more matte, but you don't want to look cakey. I just forgot how much I really enjoy this, and I like that it's designed to be a hybrid skincare foundation. Now, this has just over 30 ingredients. Fragrance and alcohol are both in the bottom third. So as far as long-wearing foundations go, that's actually pretty good. I'm not sure how this would work for those of you with dry skin. If you have dry skin, let me know how you've gotten along with this, but I think if you have normal to oily skin, this is a great option for special occasions especially. This is the foundation I wore to a really, really long concert recently. If you know what concert that was, put it in the comments down below. This was hours and hours of standing on my feet in heat and dancing, and it held up beautifully. This is NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation. This retails for $15 for 1 ounce. There are 37 shades, and I am in the shade, it just says natural on here. This has no added fragrance or alcohol. This is a foundation that fuses with your skin pretty quickly as you apply it. So again, refer to the videos I mentioned earlier for application so it doesn't set too quickly. This gives medium to full coverage with a natural soft matte finish. It's very smoothing on texture and pores. It's really flattering. Under extreme conditions, I get some shine, no grease whatsoever. I can blot and I get no makeup breakdown whatsoever. It feels lightweight all day and it just wears beautifully and remains bulletproof. Now, I do notice that my skin can get dry in certain areas if I wear this for extremely long periods of time or for multiple days in a row. So for that reason, if you have dry skin, this is not a foundation that I would choose. I recommend this more for those of you with normal to oily skin. This is a fantastic, long-wearing, soft matte drugstore foundation that I was pretty surprised by when I first tried it a couple of years ago. It may be several years ago now, but it has stayed in my foundation arsenal. This is a really nice drugstore foundation if you haven't tried it. It took me a while to narrow this down. I could have had more foundations in here, but I really wanted to keep it to 10. And these edge some other foundations out that could end up in other videos for other reasons. Let me know in the comments which top foundations video you want to see next. I was thinking BB cream, CC cream, skin tints, that kind of thing, but you may want to see something else entirely, so let me know. I'd also love to know your thoughts on any of these, so let me know those too. I hope you enjoyed this and found this helpful. That is my sole purpose for doing these, to help you make better buying decisions. I know it's really difficult, especially the older we get. If you did find this helpful, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.